So then you hope of pardon from Lord Angelo. The miserable have no other medicine, but only hope. I have hope to live, and am prepared to die. Be absolute for death, either death or life, shall thereby be the sweeter. Reason thus with life. If I do lose thee, I do lose a thing that none but fools would keep. A breath thou art, servile to all the skyey influences that doth hit this habitation, where thou keepest hourly afflict. Merely thou art death's fool, for him thou labourest by thy flight to shun, and yet runnest toward him still. Thou art not noble, for all the accommodations that thou bearest are nursed by baseness. Thou art by no means valiant, for thou dost fear the soft and tender fork of a poor worm. Thy best of rest is sleep, and that thou oft provokest, yet grossly fearest thy death, which is no more. Thou art not thyself, for thou existst on many 1,000 grains that issue out of dust. Happy thou art not, for what thou hast not, still thou strivest to get, and what thou hast forgettest. Thou art not certain, for thy complexion shifts to strange effects after the moon. If thou art rich, thou art poor, for like an ass whose back with ingots bows, thou bearest thy heavy riches but a journey, and death unloads thee. Friend, hast thou none? For none own bowels, which do call thee sire. The mere effusion of thy proper loins do curse the gout, serpigo, and the rheum. For ending thee no sooner, thou hast not nor youth nor age, but as it were an after-dinner sleep, dreaming on both, for all thy blessed youth becomes as aged, and doth beg the alms of palsied eld. And when thou art old and rich, thou hast neither heat, affection, limb, nor beauty, to make thy riches pleasant. What is yet in this that bears the name of life? Yet in this life lie hid 1,000 deaths. Yet death we fear, that makes these odds all even. I humbly thank you. To live, I find, I seek to die, and seeking death find life, let it come on. What hope peace here? Grace and good company. Who's there? Come in. The wish deserves a welcome. Dear sir, ere long I'll visit you again. Most holy sir, I thank you. My business is a word or two with Claudio, and very welcome. Look, Signor, here is your sister. Provost, a word with you. As many as you please. Bring me to hear them speak where I may be concealed. Now, sister, what's the comfort? Why, as all comforts are, most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for this swift ambassador, where you shall be an everlasting leaguer. Therefore your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on. Is there no remedy? None but such remedy as to save a head, to cleave a heart in twain. But is there any? Yes, brother, you may live. There's a devilish mercy in the judge, if you'll implore it, that will free your life, but fetter you till death. Perpetual durance. Aye, just perpetual durance, a restraint, though all the world's vastity you had to a determined scope. But in what nature? In such as one as, you consenting to it, would bark your honor from that trunk you bear, and leave you naked. Let me know the point. Oh, I do fear thee, Claudio, and I quake, lest thou a feverish life shouldst entertain, and 6 or 7 winters more respect than a perpetual honor. Darest thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon in corporal sufferance finds a pang as great as when a giant dies. Why give you me this shame? Think you I can resolution fetch from flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride, and hung it in mine arms. There spake my brother, there my father's grave did utter forth a voice. Yes, thou must die, thou art too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. This outward sainted deputy, whose settled visage and deliberate word nips youth in the head, and follies doth anew, as falcon doth the fowl, is yet a devil, his filth within being cast, he would appear as a pond as deep as hell. The Prenzi, Angelo. Oh, 'tis the cunning livery of hell, the damnedest body to invest and cover in Prenzi guards. Dost thou think, Claudio, if I would yield him my virginity, thou mightest be freed. Oh, heavens, it cannot be. Yes, he would give it thee from this rank offence, so to offend him still, this night's the time that I should do what I abhor to name, or else thou diest tomorrow. Thou shalt not do it. Oh, were it but my life, I'd throw it down for your deliverance as frankly as a pin. Thanks, dear Isabel. Be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow. Yes, has he affections in him that thou can make him bite the law by the nose, when he would force it? Sure, it is no sin, or of the worldly seven it is the least. Which is the least? If it were damnable, he being so wise, why would he be the momentary trick be perturbably fined? Oh, Isabel, what says my brother?